just 30 minutes away from the drop of the green flag for the Coke Zero Sugar 200 from the Michigan International Speedway for the Craftsman Truck Series this afternoon. And welcome to the Urbane Woodworking pre-race show. So let's talk a little bit about the season so far. So far, based on, and we're going to start with last week. So last week, we saw the very first truck race on the Indianapolis Oval, and Urbane, who is on the pole for today's race, got it done last week there on the Indianapolis Oval, winning both stages 1 and 2 and the race. And so far it's been pure domination for that 11 crew, just like in seasons past. As we're getting closer and closer to those playoffs, it's crunch time for some of these drivers. As we got 9 races to go until the playoffs for the Craftsman Truck Series here. 10 until this race starts. Once this race starts, then it will be just 9 races to go in the regular season before the playoffs, and only 10 drivers can make the playoffs here for the Craftsman Truck Series. So like I said, these last 9 races, it's crunch time. Drivers need to start getting wins, stage points. They need to start making up points if they're low in the points. You know, wrecking out of races now, if you're outside that playoff picture or inside that picture, not good. Because obviously you want to be one of those drivers in the top 10 in the standings once we get to Homestead, Miami, which will start our playoffs. Our regular season finale is at Bristol, like it normally is. And yeah, it's just been closer and closer. Let's take a look back at the first half. We kind of did this last week. So season opener was won by Urbane. That was his second straight season opener win. He had his last 4 finishes there are we didn't do the Daytona race his first season, his rookie year, so no finish in the rookie year. 16th after he was wrecked on the final lap back in the 2021 season. And then first in the 2022 season, and here, since this counts as the 2023 season, we're just finishing it up in 2024, he has a first place finish there as well. Fontana, the final race on the 2-mile configuration, went to his teammate, Dakota Daniels. Daniels is in that stage where he's going to have a waiver to remain playoff eligible. So we'll have to see what happens there. Otherwise, his spot with that win could go to another driver, so we'll have to see. And then for 5 straight races, Urbane went on to win those, starting with Las Vegas all the way down to Eldora. The first truck race here at Michigan got canceled due to weather, so it never started. And then, after that, 5 straight race wins by Urbane. So he has his streak back. Total for 11 wins on the year, looking to earn his 12th today. And that win at Indianapolis last week obviously builds the momentum. It is his hometown track here, so we'll have to see how that one works out for him. Now, Twitch is covering the rest of the Cup and Xfinity Series season. They do want you to know that there is no Xfinity race here at Michigan this week. They're going to have the week off. So just keep that in mind. The next truck race is Kansas, and I believe that is what it is for Cup and Xfinity 2. Just want to confirm. Yep, it is Kansas for Xfinity, so I would imagine that's the same for Cup. Yep, so the trucks are going to race for the third straight weekend next week at Kansas, as all three series heads to Kansas from Michigan. After Kansas, it looks like the Cup Series heads to Atlanta. I believe that's where the Xfinity Series goes as well. And if the Truck Series races there too, that's going to be 4 straight weeks of truck racing. Yep, so it's 4 straight weeks. Let's see where the Cup goes after Kansas. Yeah, it's Atlanta. So after Atlanta, the Cup Series heads to Richmond. I believe Xfinity does as well. Yep, and then there's trucks racing that week as well. We're just trying to give you guys a rundown of the season. Yeah, so they race at Richmond, and then I believe after that, I believe is Pocono for everything. So it's going to be a minute before we see another off week here for the Truck Series, but that's okay. We like truck racing just as much as I'm sure you guys do. So we talk about 11 wins for the 11 truck, hoping to earn his 12th today. 1 win for Dakota Daniels, his teammate. So Team Urbane is 12-0 this season. Because obviously there was a race that was canceled. So they're undefeated this season. I'm sure as we get farther into the playoffs and regular season finale, there'll be some different winners, but for right now, it's looking like pure domination for that 11 crew. I mean, they won the pole, for Indy last week, and they came out and won the pole again this week, and usually when they win the pole, they're pretty solid. So we'll have to see what goes on there. So we got pretty much like 25 minutes left of this to cover here. So let's talk a little bit more about the races it's going to take to get to the playoffs and the playoff races. And we're going to talk a little about each track. So next week, obviously, we're heading to Kansas, 1.5 miles. That track is going to be probably another good track for Urbane. But like that's also a good track for drivers like Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton and all those other guys here in this league. So I'd even expect Matt DiBenedetto to make his way to the front. I mean, hopefully we can, if we don't see a different winner today, we could maybe see a different winner next week at Kansas, because it's just that good. Then we talk about after Kansas, it's off to Atlanta, and this is technically on this game it's the old configuration, but we're pretending it's the repaved edition. You're talking about pack racing for the first time since Daytona, or actually for the first time since race number 5, which was a race at Atlanta. That's gonna, Urbane, he's proven he's good on those super speedways, but it's gonna take a lot to get to the front of that pack, and you don't want to get a penalty because you're gonna go possibly, or even do a green flag pit stop, because you're gonna go 1 to 2 laps down there on that new configuration. We talk about Stuart Friesen for an example. That season where Urbane almost won the season opener and got wrecked, Stuart Friesen actually won at Daytona, so he's a threat that could potentially win there at Atlanta next, or 2 weeks from now. I mean, it's again a drafting track, pack racing. It's gonna be a good one there at Atlanta. And fun fact for you guys, this is confirmed that Atlanta for the Cup and Xfinity Series, or not the Cup and Xfinity Series, just the Cup Series, Atlanta will be the first race of the playoffs next season, and Darlington will be the regular season finale instead of Daytona. So for the trucks, once they get to Atlanta, they'll still be in their regular season, same with Xfinity, but that will be the first race of the playoffs for the Cup Series, so that should be interesting. Now it's off to race 17 at Richmond. I mean, it's a short track. We saw Angela Rutsch get her first career win there last season. Urbane's always good at the short tracks, especially Bristol. I could expect him to steal a win there. I mean, again, it's just about who capitalizes at the end, who performs on pit road, and who can get passing. Short tracks are not that easy to pass at sometimes, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But then you go to Pocono, a triangle track. Urbane's proven he's good there over the time, but we got drivers like Stuart Friesen, Matt Crafton, Matt DiBenedetto. They performed there good last season. We'll have to see what they can do. Haley Deegan, when she was in trucks, performed there good last year. She actually will be racing the 13 truck in today's race. I mean, she's full-time Xfinity now, but since Xfinity has the off week, she's gonna be driving the 13 truck today, so she'll still do part-time trucks in this league. Kyle Larson is back in the 10. William Byron is piloting the number 8 today, as Tyler Reddick's taking another week off to focus mostly on the Cup Series. Then, I mean, you got Watkins Glen, a road course. That too is going to be in the round of 16 for the Cup Series next season. So a true road course race in the playoffs for the Cup guys. That's going to be a challenge. But this season, it's a regular season race. I mean, I think that the trucks on road courses are cool. I kind of liked it when they raced on the road course at Indianapolis. However, I did like that they changed it up this year and put them on the oval. And I think based off of that, it's probably going to continue being on the oval. But I'd like to see the trucks back on the Charlotte oval. And just the other road courses in general. There's a hint that Xfinity and trucks might run Canadian Tire. At some point. I mean, we'll have to see. The Cup guys might run it too, but right now I'm liking where they have it now. Also, welcome to the one viewer. This is the Urbane Woodworking pre-race show, so Truck Series will be starting in about 20 minutes. That we're 20 minutes away from the green flag. We are talking about the races leading up to the playoffs, as we got 10 to go until this race starts. Once this race starts, we'll have 9 races to go until the playoffs. But talking about each track leading up to the playoffs and the tracks in the playoffs, and we're predicting who could potentially win there. Watkins Glen, though, you got to give it to the truck who's on the pole today. I think Urbane steals one there at Watkins Glen. He's just he's good at those road courses. You can't count him out. Now we go to Daytona. That is regular season finale weekend for the Cup Series. The trucks, again, you're talking about super speedways. You got Stuart Friesen, Grant Enfinger, Urbane, Matt DiBenedetto. Haley Deegan even did a good race there last season. She actually was the runner-up to Urbane in the season opener this season. So, I mean, if she does a part-time race in the trucks that weekend, we could expect those guys up there. It's just, it really depends. Drafting track, it's going to be a good one there. Then it's off to Darlington. Last time we were there, Urbane dominated and won. I think he can win Darlington again. That's a nice egg-shaped track. He knows how to tame that track pretty good. After that, it's off to Iowa, which we've raced at pretty much ever since this league was created, except for season 1. Another short track. Again, you got drivers like Urbane, Angela Rutsch, all of them. We can consider them favorites to win there, because, again, they're just phenomenal at short tracks. Angela Rutsch, like we mentioned before, won at Richmond last season for her first career win. Went into the playoffs. Unfortunately, got eliminated after the round of 8, but still, pretty good run by her. I think that is a good enough track. I think, again, either Urbane or her could steal the win there, or somebody else, obviously. Then we got Bristol, which is our regular season finale. And honestly, I think Urbane could go back-to-back, because assuming he wins Iowa, I think he could win at Bristol too, because he's, again, just dominant there. Really good there. I think he pulls it off in the regular season finale, and that will set our 10-truck playoff field. We're also going to use this time to do predictions for the playoffs too, so stay tuned for that. All right, now we go to Homestead, Miami, the first round of the playoffs. Phenomenal run by Urbane last time we were there. I think he wins the first race of the playoffs, and locks himself into the round of 8. Now we go to Texas. I think Austin Wayneself gets it done at Texas. I mean, he's won races before. He actually won at Las Vegas 2 seasons ago. I mean, it's a little different than Las Vegas, but Austin Wayneself seems to run pretty good there at Texas. I think he steals Texas, and I think that he is a playoff driver, so I think he'll move on to the round of 8 there. Now we go to Martinsville. I think Urbane's going to be a point spoiler there. He's pretty good at the short tracks, like we mentioned before, especially Martinsville. I think he steals the win there. And the first 2 drivers out of the playoffs will be Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton. So then we go on to the round of 8. We go to Talladega. I'm going to say Urbane wins that race and punches his ticket to the Championship 4. Because like Daytona, he's a pretty good super speedway racer. They don't call him the super speedway king for no reason. I think he wins there, punching his ticket to Phoenix. Then we go to Charlotte. I think Austin Wayneself yet again wins, punching his ticket to Charlotte, or not Charlotte, Phoenix. And then Chicagoland, I think Grant Enfinger will win there, punching his ticket to Phoenix. And the 4 drivers out be Raja Caruth, Jason White, Angela Rutsch. What was that other guy's name? I gotta think about that for a minute. All right, we'll think about that. But I think the Championship 4 is gonna be Urbane, Enfinger, Wayneself, and then the heck was that? I forgot 2 guys' names. Hang on a sec. Give me a sec to go to my friend Google here. Oh, yeah, it's Heim. So, yeah, I think it's Urbane, Enfinger, Heim, and we just forgot that guy's name. What did we say earlier? Oh, Wayneself. Yes, Wayneself. So, yeah. As you can tell, we're not professionals here, which we probably should be, but yeah, so Rhodes is the other one we were thinking of, too, for I think he's going to be out after the round 8, so there's your Championship 4. And Phoenix, I think Mr. 3-time champion Urbane can become 4-time champion there at Phoenix. Maybe in a little better circumstances this year, but we'll have to see. And if not, I think somebody like Grant Enfinger could steal it. We'll have to see. I mean, it's just about that. So, as you can tell, we got a great season ahead of us here as we get down to the wire here on the regular season finale. We're about 13 minutes away from the command to fire engines. We will be starting up a different live for that, because this is the pre-race show. I mean, I know it says the same title as what the actual one is going to say, but still. So we'll see if anybody has any questions as we go on. But let's talk a little bit about today's track. So we're here at the Michigan International Speedway. This time we're actually going to be able to race here. There's not rain postponing it and then eventually canceling it, because it is the middle of January. However, it hasn't snowed these past few days, so the track crews were able to get everything cleared up there. They actually after that big snowstorm, they cleared the grass and everything, and they put covers over the grass, so just in case. So the track's gonna be what it would look like in the middle of summer and spring. And it's dry and everything. It's just really cold here, as the fans will tough that out. Hopefully at some point we can get back into the wire to where we can actually start the season when the real season starts, and then we can move some of these tracks where it's colder at during the winter to the spring and summer times. Anyways, continuing on about track facts. So it's gonna go, we're gonna be 100 laps around this track. It's gonna take 100 laps, 200 miles. Stages are unknown. I kind of wish it would tell you that before the race, but it doesn't. So stages are unknown right now. What would make sense is 25 in stages 1 and 2 and 50 to the final checkered flag, but I know that's probably not going to be it. And it's going to be 32 trucks, obviously, like it is. And it's going to be a good day. It's going to be, the speeds are going to be fast. Pit stops are going to be solid. And at the end of the day, it's going to be who can perform on pit road the best. My pick is obviously Urbane, because it's his hometown track. I mean, that's just a valid enough reason to pick him. Hometown track. I mean, he won last week, but I think he can go back-to-back this week. He's got a nice paint scheme there, the Freightliner Trucks 1. About 10 minutes left till we get the command, so kind of just gonna vibe up here. Also, important information to tell you. We can use these 10 minutes to talk about that important information. We are getting close to the start of the 2024 NFL Summer League season, and that sounds a little silly because it is January. But it's starting earlier this year, so Wednesday, February 7th. Or not, well, no, not that game. I forgot, that game's on Twitch. My bad. But now, Friday, February 9th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on FoxTube TV, we have a kickoff game rematch from last season. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the Detroit Lions in their season opener on the first Friday night football of the season. And I guess we could talk about this too. Going back to what we were going to say, Wednesday, February 7th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Twitch, on our Twitch, because we have the Twitch too, but the season actually kicks off for the Summer League. That is between the defending champions, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Atlanta Falcons coming off a championship run after defeating the Lions in the NFC Championship game last season, getting their revenge for the national championship they lost in a couple of years ago to the Lions by 3. And it took 3 appearances, but the Falcons got it done. They won the title. Now they get to kick off the game in Mexico City to start the season. Falcons were 9-1 a season ago, and I can't remember what the Jaguars' record was, but the Jaguars, I know, did not make the playoffs, so that's all I can tell you about that. But a season ago, the Lions were 10-0, had the perfect season, number 1 seed in the NFC, and lost in the NFC Championship game to the Falcons. And the Cowboys, I think, had a 7-3 record and just missed out on the playoffs. So we'll have to see what can go down there to see if the Cowboys could potentially defeat the Lions in Game 1 and hand the Lions their first loss since the 2022 season, or if the Lions will go in there and defend their winning streak. The Lions had a big winning streak going on a couple seasons. They went 7-3 in the 2020 season. That year, the Bills beat the Falcons 47-41 in overtime in Ford Field in the first annual national championship game to win their title. The second annual national championship was played between the Lions and Giants. This was before This was before the league decided that no team from the same conference shall play each other in the championship game. The Lions took on the Giants. They beat the Giants. They had a perfect year that year. The Lions did. They went 10-0. And then we... Oh, wait, no. That was 2020. The Bills won it in 2019. So 2019 was won by the Bills. That is when the Lions went 7-3. 2020 is when the Lions went 10-0 and beat the Giants 58-32 in the second annual national championship to win their first title in their first appearance. The third annual national championship was played between the Lions and Falcons. Falcons lost that game. The Lions escaped with a 52-49 victory after a last-second field goal to avoid overtime. That was a throwout between both Matt Ryan and Jared Goff. And then 2021. Did we say that right? Yeah, we just didn't say the year. Yeah, so 2021 was the Falcons and Lions. 2022 is when the rules changed to where it has to be a team from the AFC and a team from the NFC in the championship game. And the Lions and Ravens went head-to-head after the Texans blew a 35-7 lead and lost 41-35 in the AFC championship. The Lions intercepted a pass from Daniel Jones in the NFC championship to go on. The Lions won again. They won 35-29. Yeah, it was 35-29. Jared Goff threw a deep pass to Amendola in the end zone in his final career game. He caught that in overtime. That game was over. Lions won their third straight title. And then 2023, they got knocked out of the NFC Championship by the Falcons. So it's just a lot of key factors, but those are the two games to kick off the season. The Jaguars and defending champs, the Falcons, on Wednesday over on Twitch. And then we got coverage of the Lions and Cowboys on February 9th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be a great season in that. Baseball is coming up. NBA is still going on. We need to update the number of games that have been played. But NBA is going to be going great. They should be starting playoffs soon, as we are getting ready to start playoffs for our NASCAR league here. Still got a few races to go. The Cup Series only has 8 races to go until the playoffs. And then I believe the Xfinity Series has 11 or something like that. Yeah, they got 11 because, yeah, the first round of the playoffs for Cup, they still have 3 races. So Bristol for both trucks and Xfinity will be the regular season finale. But alrighty, folks, that's going to do it here for us on the pre-race show. Enjoy the race, everybody. 3 minutes for the command to fire engines.